Right, here we want to solve this rational equation. We got 1 over x plus 4 plus x over x minus 4, and all of that equal to negative 8 over x squared minus 16. Okay, this is called a rational equation because we have fractions, and also we have x terms, right, in the denominator. Okay, so the first thing is, how are we going to take care of these denominators? Okay, so we're going to use something called the LCD method. Okay, so what the LCD method is, let's first find the LCD, okay, of the whole expression here. Okay, so the LCD is x plus 4 times x minus 4. Okay, and we get that because we have to factor, okay, and then determine what the LCD is. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply each term by the LCD. Okay, and by doing so, we should notice something pretty nice happen. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, now I'm just going to write everything out, right? We have 1 over x plus 4 here. That's the first fraction. We're going to multiply it by the LCD. Okay, we're going to multiply it by the x plus 4 times x minus 4. We have our second term, which is the x over x minus 4 here. Once again, we're going to multiply that by the LCD. Then we have our last term, right? Then we've got the negative 8 over x plus 4, x minus 4. And once again, same thing, right? We are going to multiply that by the LCD. Let's take a look at what happens here. We should notice something pretty nice happened, right? Let's look at the first fraction. Okay, what's going to happen? The x plus 4's cancel out. Okay, so what is remaining then? What's remaining is the 1 times x minus 4. Okay. What about on the second fraction? We notice that the x minus 4's cancel out. Okay. And what is remaining there? What's remaining is the x times x plus 4. And then what about the last guy? Okay, so here on the last guy, we notice the x plus 4's cancel out. The x minus 4's also cancel out. So we are just left with negative 8. Let's take a look at what we've done. Okay, so we've found the LCD. We've used the LCD to multiply each term by the LCD, and by doing so, all the denominators have canceled out. Okay, now there's still some terms left over, right, in the numerator, so don't forget about those. Make sure you distribute properly, keep track of all your signs here. Okay, so we end up with this guy. Okay, so we've converted from a rational equation into this type of equation here, right? What type of equation is this? Well, once we distribute everything and combine like terms, we notice that in this case we end up with a quadratic equation. Okay, so this is a quadratic equation that we want to solve. So let's just combine all the terms that we can. So we get x squared plus 5x minus 4 equals negative 8. Okay, let's add that 8 over to the other side so that we get 0. Okay, so what's the result then? We get x squared plus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, and this is certainly a quadratic equation that we should be able to solve. Okay, so when we factor that, what do we get? Okay, we get x plus 4 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. So now we just set each factor equal to 0 and solve, so we get two values for x, right? We get the first one, which is x equals negative 4, and we get the second one, which is x equals negative 1. Okay, are these our two answers? Well, possibly, but because we're dealing with rational equations, we should check our answers, right? Now, when we say check your answer, okay, I mean, you can plug it in, you can try to work everything out, okay, but we know it. Well, we haven't made any mistakes, right? We haven't made any mistakes, but what we really were saying when we check the answers is, do we get a 0 on the denominator? Okay, because we know that fractions cannot have 0 denominator. Notice what happens when we plug in negative 1. Well, when we plug in a negative 1 here, and here, and here, we're not going to get a 0, right? So we can trust that that answer is probably okay. What about the x is negative 4? When we plug in a negative 4 here, what's going to happen? Right here we get a 0 on denominator. Right? So what does that mean, right? Well, like I said, we haven't made any mistakes. We did all the work. We got this value of x, but when we plugged it in, it did not work. Okay, so this is what we call an extraneous solution. Okay, now it's not a solution. Yeah, we got to be careful. It's not a solution. It's extraneous. Okay, there's really only one answer here, right? What is it? The only answer here is the x is equal to -1. Okay, so when you're doing these problems, you will be asked to find any solutions and to find any solutions that are extraneous.